What's going on, everyone? Today is day 16 of the 90-day my own challenge. Hope everyone had a great 4th of July. I know I certainly did. Went over to my parents' house, which is great to see them. Spent a few days doing absolutely nothing, which there's a lot of power in. I feel, kind of mentally and physically recharged and ready to take down anything. So make sure you're mixing a little bit of that in. Again, I don't need very much time. By day 2, I am so antsy that I've just got to get out of there. But, recognize the season you're in, recognize what type of person you are and how much rest you need. If you're not a go person, that's okay. Just play to your strengths and don't try to be something that you're not. Today, I had kind of a situation happen where I was reaching out to a high net worth individual who is a potential investor. And something that I think I used to do that was a really big mistake, because whenever you're reaching out to somebody for the first time, especially if they're going to be an investor, a potential partner, or maybe just a mentor, is you want to show them how much you know, which you certainly have to do. But what ends up happening is you end up writing an email that is a novel and that this person's never going to read, or they're going to look at it and be like, oh my gosh, you've gotten those emails before too, where you're like, there is so much information here. This is going to take me 30 minutes to read. I really don't want to go through it. So you've got to be really conscious of their time, and you have to find a way to show that you know what you're talking about, but keep it really short, to where they can read it in 5 minutes or less. And that's, again, that's something that's super tough, because you almost have to start the contact with not all the information. And then if they're interested, if you gave it to them in a bite-sized chunk, they'll ask for more. And again, you have to show them what you know, but don't make it a novel. Kind of the second point is admitting what you don't know. Again, you want to, you're not going to get an investor if you go around telling people you don't know what you're doing. But there's this difference between pretending you know certain aspects of a deal that haven't quite come together versus just admitting that, all right, I don't know exactly how this is going to pan out in this specific area, or because the seller is saying, this about the roof inspection, or whatever it is. But admit what you don't know, and prep if you're looking at a specific deal for the possibilities that this could turn on you. I have no problem whenever I make an initial call to an investor when we're looking at a property that I think we're going to contract. For one, I'm prepping investors before we even contract it, but I'm letting them know that, hey, this seller is kind of a wild card. I really don't even, I don't know how they're going to respond to this price reduction we're about to ask for, or I don't know how they're going to respond to this contract price that we put out. So, make sure your investors know, what the probability is and where kind of the pitfalls are. And, I think that's going to carry a lot of weight in the future. And the last thing, investments, and, kind of business, at least the way that I do it, is 100% built on trust. And every single investor that invests with me, I don't just take somebody's money. In order for me to take their money, I have to know that they know that if the project goes bad, I'm not out doing a bunch of other stuff. I'm sleeping there. I'm painting the walls myself. I'm doing whatever it takes to get it done, which of course is built on a foundation of trust. And so how do you start building that foundation? Because at the end of the day, I think multifamily investments particularly are almost 100% trust investment. They're making an investment in the management team at the end of the day that if this project goes sideways, you're going to do everything in your power to correct it. You're going to be sleeping there, in the apartment, whatever you have to do. And so, I've said this a ton, but, you need to set an expectation here. If your actual product, your actual apartment syndication project is right here, and you're having to sell up here, that's a huge problem. You need to be here, and you need your investors super excited down here. Because if the bar for what you believe you can do is higher than what you're selling, you've set yourself up for success. And then it's gonna be really easy for you to, fulfill all the obligations that you made, and of course, under promising and over delivering everything that you do. So that's the foundation of trust, is just doing what you said you're gonna do. So don't overcommit, don't make all these crazy promises. Don't tell investors you're gonna have something to them at a deadline that you can't actually meet, because every single time you do that, you're breaking trust, whether you realize it or not. It's the same thing if you set a time to meet an investor somewhere at a coffee shop. If you say 9, like, you got to be there before 9. It's a foundation of trust that you're building, and whether you realize it or not, each minute you're late is breaking trust that much more. It's the same thing with everything else. Thanks everybody for watching. Hope everyone had a great 4th, and I'll be back tomorrow on day 17.